Hey y'all, and welcome to I Wish a Mother Would. Now, I'm so excited about today's guest. We're talking all things moms and money. I have the fabulous Miss Lashana West. Hey
Hey, girl.
Oh, so excited to have you today. I so admire everything that you're doing for entrepreneurs, women, mothers, all in the same. I met you probably a couple months ago at your shop, Pop Up and Create, your content studio,
Right.
and your energy was just next level. So I immediately thought about you when it came to doing this interview about moms and money. Because, honey, you have your hands in some things, honey.
Sis, so do you. And thank you for inviting me. I remember when you were at the space, just the color and your energy. I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to connect for sure.
Absolutely. So we're going to get started with a little story today, darling. Okay. This is definitely related to money and kids. And so I'll read the story and then we'll give our take on it. Okay.
Sure thing.
So McDonald's restaurants across 4 states violated the labor rights of over 300 minors, including 2 10-year-old children who were not paid in an investigation by the U.S. Department of Labor reveals. So the Department of Labor investigation, which included 3 McDonald's franchises with a combined 62 locations in Kentucky, Indiana, Maryland, and Ohio, found 305 workers under the age of 16 worked more hours than legally permitted. The DOL said in a news release. The Bauer Food LLC, which operates 10 McDonald's locations in Kentucky, Indiana, employed 2 children and staffed 24 minors under the age of 16 and for more hours than permitted. And then the 10-year-old employees who were not paid sometimes worked as late as 2 a.m. They prepared and distributed food. They worked the drive-thru. They operated the register. And one of the kids operated a deep fryer.
What?
10-year-old.
Oh, my goodness.
So the DOL, Department of Labor's investigation led to a $212,000 civil money lawsuit against those 3 franchises. There's so much to unpack here.
Right.
Like, Mom, why are we letting our kid work until 2:00 in the morning in the deep fryer and they're 10 years old?
Yeah, honestly, it baffles me, but then I'll be honest with you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When I was 14, I was lying on applications and I was working. I'm just going to, now I'm not giving anybody a pass.
Oh.
However, when you think about families in financial crisis, they're willing to do anything that they will do. I'm not giving them a pass. I'm literally in the mental health field, so I understand the impact and the dynamic that happens. But my question is, why does the family need money so bad that they will go to that extent of putting their kids in danger, putting their kids in a work environment that they're not equipped to do? And then my other question is, what is the parent doing? Are they at work too? Are they at home?
Right.
Like, I like to look at the full scope of it and before I say, oh, they shouldn't have did this. Now, mind you, all of it is just crazy.
Yeah.
But I would like to get more information to get to the root cause and the function of the whole dynamic.
Right. Yeah. Because like you said, there could be a family in dire straits where everybody needs to work.
It must. I mean, I would assume that's what's going on.
If they got the 10-year-old working until 2:00 in the morning with the deep fryer, there's got to be a dire strait going on. And so I think our system has failed our families here in the States, just in the fact that has to happen, because there should be something available for these families. And unfortunately, we have huge homeless populations, but you go to other countries and they've got food on the sidewalks for people to come and get. Like, the homeless population is not that extreme as it is in the U.S. And we're supposed to be the richest country in the world.
And then my question is, what happened? How did this come to the forefront? Who reported it? Like, that's where my mind goes. So now I'm going to go down a rabbit hole on Google University
and find out more
because there's always
more.
3 sides to a story.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to play a fun little game if I can find my cards. I doubt them. All right, so we're going to play a game before we get into our interview. Sure. This is a version of taboo, but it's like mom taboo.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you some clues, and then you just let me know what it is. So it's different phases of motherhood, okay?
Gotcha.
All right. So this is the sweet, I used the word, oh, this is the age where a kid wants a really big party and wants the pomp and circumstance.
So, girl, you already told me.
I done already told you.
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So this is the age where they're toddlers and they are not so great.
Terrible twos.
Yes, ma'am. Every girl always wants to have one of these with her friends at night.
Sleepover, slumber party.
Yep, sleepover. A lot of kids want these. They don't necessarily need them, but it's good for safety.
Cell phone.
Yeah, ma'am. This is the time before you're a teenager, but you're not quite.
Tween?
Yes. And this is something my kids always want, and they don't want their dinner. They don't want their breakfast. They want
Uber Eats.
Oh,
DoorDash.
Small little bites of things that aren't real food.
Hot Cheetos.
Hot Cheetos are. They are
junk food.
Junk food or
chips.
Snacks.
Girl.
I got you on that last one.
All you gotta do is say, what the boys say you are, a snack.
Oh!
I would have got that real quick.
Yeah, she's a snack. No, she's a whole meal, honey. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's get into our interview. So this is all about moms and money. So I'm going to ask you tons about money and how we can get to the bag for all of the mothers out there.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So what is a pivotal moment for you that, well, first of all, tell me a little bit more about yourself, because we need to know a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a millionaire mindset coach and business therapist. And what that is the best of both worlds when it comes to business coaching and mental health. So most people always ask me, are you a real therapist? And I am. I'm a real therapist. I have a master's in clinical counseling. And about 5 years ago, I moved to Atlanta and I seen how millionaires and billionaires were walking around with Jordans on and hoodies, doing what they love, making great money, and some of them didn't even have a degree. And I was like, let me run and get my LLC, because if this is what we're doing, and I'm in corporate slaving 8 to 10 hours a day, one in that corner office, you know what I'm saying? Just that American quote unquote dream.
Right.
I got my LLC, started coaching. Initially, it was more general because I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't have clarity. I knew that I was really good in like strategy. So I started off doing like confidence and clarity coaching. And then as I invested in myself and worked with more coaches, realized that my superpower was business therapy. And what that is pinpointing the mindset blocks that's stopping you from scaling so you can launch, grow, and live the life that you crave without sacrificing yourself.
Love it. Love it. So with that, when did you become, or what pivotal moment in your life in general made you become more intentional about finances? Because obviously that happened prior to you becoming a coach.
Right.
But what pivotal moment made you like, okay, I got to be real serious about my finances?
When I was living check to check and still burning the midnight oil, but not seeing wealth building and not seeing the fruits of my labor in my bank account, right? And so it's funny because you say, when did you become serious about your finances? And honestly, I'm still working on that because at the end of the day, everyone says build wealth, but you also have to do some preliminary things in order to be in position to build wealth. And so I've bought homes. Right now I'm learning how to acquire a business. A lot of times we want to build it from the ground up, and that's cute. But you also won't be tired and burned out. What about buying a business where you can walk right in? The revenue's already revenuing. The staff is in position. So I'm literally working on that, and I think that is going to enable me to really be serious about my finances, because if you think about it, and when I hear serious about your finances, that means you're not worried any longer about money, because it's there, it's building on its own passive income. And I'm not talking about a coaching course or digital products.
Right.
I'm literally talking about the money is there to where your kids, they don't even have to work unless they want to.
Yes.
Now, mind you, we might talk about this later. I'm not saying our kids should not work, but like I told you in the beginning, I was lying on applications to work. A 14-year-old when I should have been having my heads in the books, right?
Right.
And so I don't want my daughter, who's 21. I know I look good.
Yes, you do, honey.
It took you too long. I'm just playing. I don't want her to have to do the same thing
that
I did.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's same for my 10-year-old, like, and my 6-year-old.
For sure.
I definitely.
6-year-old?
Look, I done told the people what year I was born in on another episode, but I won't tell them no more. So with that, share with our listeners a little bit more about the concept of healing while building. Because I love that you're saying, you're going to acquire a business. That's what you're working on right now. Right. But I see you had this concept, healing while building.
Researching what?
Absolutely, honey. How do you?
Period. I love it. So I realized that that's what we're all doing. Healing while building. What does that mean? Healing from unresolved trauma, healing from broken relationships, healing from corporate stuff, healing from self. And we continue to grow, we continue to build, we continue to show up every single day, but that doesn't mean we still don't have to do the inner work, right? And so I literally coined the concept like at least about 6 months ago because I thought about all of my clients that I work with, 90%. The root cause, the root issue of them needing mindset support is because of unresolved childhood trauma. And healing is not finite. It's ongoing.
Absolutely.
And that's literally what it is. And so I want us to embrace that and leverage it instead of it being a dark cloud over our head like, woe is me.
Yeah, I think healing while building is a true depiction of the entire last year of my life. Y'all will see me on social. And I mean, I am smiling because I find joy in everything, no matter what tribulations I'm going through. But I've been going through a divorce for the past year.
Wow.
Like, for a whole year. Lord have mercy.
I would never have thought.
Yeah. But again, healing while building because I had to start fresh. I was a stay-at-home mom. Like, I had to start fresh, find a place, all that fun stuff. So that really resonated with me to see, you saying like, we're always healing, we're always building.
Yeah. And then I also add life is going to always life.
Baby.
Even though you're going through a divorce, the kid's still kid and the dog's still dog if you have one, the house, like everything is still happening and you still have to show up. And then the healing while building turns into, if you're not careful, leading while bleeding. Because as we're putting on that front, we got the face on. And then as soon as we turn off that live or that podcast episode, it's like, whew, Lord Jesus. Like, how long are you going to be able to keep that up?
Right.
And it's not sustainable.
Exactly. And that's why you really have to be grateful for the things that you do have and not worry about the things that you don't have.
Right.
And really find the joy in the everyday parts of life. That's what I have to do. I find the joy, honey. And it's always something.
Well, I can tell just from the colors to the aesthetics, and I'm loving the earrings. Like, you could tell you find the joy in everything that you do. And that's what we have to do.
Yes. So I am definitely a huge advocate of multiple streams of income, especially for moms, both married and single, because you can't depend on one thing to sustain you. I'm sorry, because once that one thing goes away.
Right.
So what are some ways that moms can have multiple streams of income if they're not an entrepreneurial type person?
Yeah. So believe it or not, most people run from that word, but if you want multiple streams of income, you're going to have that type of mindset. Whether you're selling clothes on Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, Uber driving, Instacarting, you're doing that because you want multiple streams of income. And even though you may not have a quote unquote LLC for it or a whole Instagram aesthetics where you're marketing formally, you still have an entrepreneurial mindset, right? So if we just stripped all of it, the question is, what do you love doing so much that you'll do it for free? So then it doesn't seem like work.
Right.
And then how do you infuse that into the capacity and the time that you have? Because if you think about a stay-at-home mom, what else could you do to create revenue?
Right.
Well, you're probably artsy, you're probably crafty. If you're already watching your children, you probably could watch 2 or 3 more, depending on your capacity. Because if your mental health and all that, you're already stressed, you don't need to be watching nobody else's kids.
Right.
However, there are several ways to skin a cat, and I think once we sit down and really do some self-reflection, we could figure out how to create multiple streams of income. It might not be what the big wigs call it, like 10K months and all that.
Right.
But the question is, what works for you to where you are excited about what you're building?
Right. And I love that you hit based on your capacity. So what do you think women's biggest block is when it comes to earning money? I think a lot of women feel guilty about wanting more money and all of that. So like, what are those blocks?
Yeah, definitely a money mindset block. We're broke. I don't know if I can. Do I have enough? will I ever get XYZ? All those limiting beliefs, the money mindset blocks, and then lack of courage and confidence that you can make it happen. Like, it starts with belief.
Yes.
And if you literally don't believe that you can buy a house, that you can start a business, that you can get a divorce and still thrive, right? Then more than likely you won't, because you're hating on yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel that imposter syndrome is. When you're hating on yourself and letting those negative thoughts puppet you and dictate who you are and what you're doing.
Don't let them do it. So I saw you went to Invest Fest this year.
Girl, you been stalking me. I'm just playing. I've been
stalking you. Yes. Okay. Yes.
I was there.
What were some of your key takeaways from attending that really big event?
Honestly, I love the marketplace. When I seen everybody downstairs with these big, like, brand aesthetics and backgrounds, and the way they thought outside the box, I didn't just see tables and tablecloths and a banner.
Right.
Girl, the people was peopling, and it was thumping down there. So I loved how people literally were courageous and curious about what it could be and brought it to life. And then lastly, I would say the collaboration, because if you think of InvestFest, it was lots of brands coming together. I love the collaboration of it, and it wasn't just about making money or building wealth. They had several layers of other things. Like, for example, they talked about, mergers and acquisitions, and they talked about podcasting, and they talked about all kinds of things. Because initially when I thought of InvestFest and EYO platform, like, ooh, I don't know if I want to do all that. But it's opening up and being more well-versed. So a single mom, a stay-at-home mom, a college student could still go and not feel like they didn't understand what was going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So it's just education from different levels depending on where you are.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. So what do you feel like some of the most stress-free streams of income that you have or that you've seen other people have? Because there's always, like, you can say passive income, but it's never really passive. You have to get it going. You have to get it started. So I get that. But once it gets going, what's the stress-free ones?
Honestly, I would say my stress-free income right now is my content space, Pop Up and Create.
I think so,
because number one, it takes me out of my coaching hat, and I get to just have fun and create. And it's self-access, so I don't even have to be there for it to operate.
Really?
Yeah, like, it's fully monitored. They put the code in. After they book, they go. And it's already set up to where it's like a fun playhouse, and I don't have to be there exerting energy every single day in order for it to operate.
That's beautiful. I didn't realize it was self-access, so that really just makes it like...
Yep.
Because I had a brick and mortar... I have a performing arts studio for kids. So I had a brick and mortar for a long time, and we were always there, right? We're there with dance rehearsals. We're there with everything. And so we transitioned our business model to doing after school programs. So now I just show up, or I don't show up to the after school programs, and we run it like a fine old machine, which I love. No that. Overhead, no.
Yeah.
It's great. So I definitely love the fact that just like, hey, you come let yourself in.
For sure. And then I'll add, and it's interesting because it's like in alignment, like sometimes I do customized hoodies and t-shirts and stuff. And stress-free is subjective. If I'm stressed because I'm always talking and using my mind and my brain, that might be my way to get away, to hit the press and, do the little whatnot. So it really depends on the person.
Yeah.
Someone else may say stress-free is coaching because that's what they love to do and they never get to do it. And I think we change as the seasons change. So if you ask me this next year, I'll probably have a different answer for you.
Yeah. And I think that's profound because it is different at different seasons. Like, I used to run my Etsy shop and it was like fun. And then I got tired and burnt out.
Girl, yes.
So I love that. Stalker again. I love that you host a book club. Yes. Can you share some of or give me like 3 books that are really lending themselves to a millionaire or money mindset?
For sure. So yeah, we just got done with You Owe You. by Dr. Eric Thomas, also known as E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. And what I loved about it, number one, I bought the book initially and then I got the Audible. And I love the Audible. Number one, I could listen to it in the shower. I could listen to it while I was driving. I got through it quicker, and it also was in his voice, which was a game changer. Definitely get it if you haven't already. So that one was really good. And even though I'm in the personal professional development realm, mindset is a muscle. Like, you have to continue to exercise it every single day, right? And so that was a great one. The second one would be What Happened to You by Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Bruce Perry. But I crossed out the word "to" and wrote "for." Yep. Literally, it's on the cover. I said, boop, boop.
I'm fixing this.
Yeah, because it's not what happened to us. It's what happened for us that enables us to continue to thrive, right?
Yes.
Rinse and repeat. And so it's really good, though, because it lets you know that your unresolved trauma or whatever has happened for you, not to you, is literally going to propel or push you back.
Absolutely.
And then the last one I would say would be Marshawn's journal book, 100 Days of Believing Bigger. Marshawn Evans Daniels. I love that one, too, because it's that daily repetition and that muscle of you self-reflecting and decompressing. But girl, I got so many books, and that's why I started the book club. It was not for the people.
Right.
Let's be clear. It was for me.
Yeah.
And this is what I think about coaching. We get to double dip. Because every time, even this is healing for me.
Yeah.
Even though the conversation is going to go and we're having a chit chat, like, the more we get to share and connect, the more we all get to heal while we build.
Absolutely.
And the book club was for me to activate all that great brilliance that was sitting on my bookshelves and to open up the conversation for the people.
Exactly, because you're reading in solitude, right?
Yep.
So you're taking in all these great points, but now you get to share them, discuss them amongst other people. So I love that. I do.
Thank you. And we had a live concept to it. We got on Instagram every week and read out loud.
Okay.
Yes. And I wanted to do that because I didn't want it to be just a typical book club. And we need to start practicing reading out loud.
Amen.
Okay? Period. So with that added, I would say, benefit, it was really cool.
But I think, like, from a perspective of a mother as well, how powerful is that for your children to see you're reading aloud with your peers on live? Like, mommy's doing her read alouds right now on Instagram, and they're looking like, okay, this is cool. I love that. From a perspective of a mother that really just, like, hits hard. So
yeah, for
moms,
sure.
that's a good idea. All right. Well, do you want to share what you have going on in the future? I thank you so much for coming and sharing these little nuggets of wisdom. Not little nuggets. These big nuggets. Big nuggets. These big nuggets of wisdom with us. Like, what do you tell the people where they can find you, how they can work with you, and feel all of this fabulous energy? Yeah.
So first of all, I want to thank you for having me. This was amazing. And if you guys are looking for me, you can find me on all things Lashana West, Instagram, Facebook, the whole nine. And also, if you want to book a complimentary clarity call, all you have to do is DM the word breakthrough. You'll get a link and we'll chat to see how I can support you in your journey to success.
Thank you so
much. No problem. Thank you.
All right. Catch us in the kitchen for some fun treats. All right, guys, welcome to the Help a Mother Out cooking segment with Coach Chef Kim. Hey,
hello.
Okay, so you got to tell me what's going on because we got some popcorn and some stuff. I don't know what we're doing. What we're doing?
Okay, so we're going to make cake batter popcorn.
Cake batter popcorn?
Yes.
Is that what the crack was on the table?
Yes. It's literal cake batter. So when I was thinking about what is fun, how do we upskill, like kicking it with our kids, cake batter popcorn.
I'm excited.
Exactly.
Oh.
Okay, so this is seriously one of the easiest things you can do with your kids. And as a mom, I like that whole sweet and salty thing happening.
I love it.
So this gives you sweet and salty. And then for the kids, we've got sprinkles. So you start with just half a cup of cake mix. Doesn't matter what cake mix you want to do. You can do funfetti. However, if you're like me and you couldn't find funfetti in the store this morning, then you get white. And you add sprinkles to it.
Ta-da!
You know, so now we have funfetti. Right? We're not going to freak out about it. It's totally fine.
I think it
so
looks
this
better.
way, and it does, right? So if you think about, even if you did this for a birthday party, whatever the colors of the party are, make sure your sprinkles match. So creating your own custom sprinkle mix for your popcorn is what is going to change the game.
Let me tell you something. I think doing the sprinkles is the better thing to do anyway because it gives the kids an extra step. I'm all about adding some longevity to the project for the kids.
That is true.
They have some time to take your time. Just drop each sprinkle in one by one.
Count them out loud as you're going.
Sort the sprinkles.
Listen, I am a sorter.
Help them out.
That definitely works. Now, this is just a tip for me. So we're going to use white chocolate. But for me, the easiest chocolate to use is almond bark. Now, for people with nut allergies, it's not made from almonds. It's just called that.
Really?
So, yes. It's literally just candy melts.
I'm clutching my pearls because I really thought it was made out of.
It is not. There's no nuts in it whatsoever.
I was like, Kayla can't have that.
Kayla can have this.
Praise God.
Okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I choose almond bark, or if you go to Target, you can get candy coating. That's what it's called in there. Mm-hmm. As opposed to candy melts, is that this melts smoother.
Ooh.
So they come in like squares like this, which makes it really easy for you to break it off. That way, if you're only doing one bag of popcorn, you could eat it, but I wouldn't.
I'm not going to eat it because
okay, cool. It does smell delicious.
I just want to smell it.
So if you're doing like, let's say you don't need 2 whole bags of popcorn, you only want to do 1, so we're going to split the recipe in half, then you can easily figure out how much chocolate you need because it's already broken into squares.
Got it.
So then you don't have to have a kitchen scale and all that other stuff. This works way better. So tip, melt this in 30-second increments. I know it's going to get annoying. I know it is. But if you put this in on like 2 minutes and you walk away and you come back, you're going to burn it. So you're going to do this on 30 seconds and then you're going to stir it. And then another 30 seconds and then you're going to stir it. And then one more 30 seconds and probably around then the residual heat will melt everything together.
Got it. I've done it the other way. Don't do it the other way.
And you will burn it and you can't save it if you burn it. So melt it in 30-second increments. So for this, we're going to pop 2 bags of popcorn. Mm-hmm. We're going to melt our 8 ounces of chocolate. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to mix our chocolate and the cake batter together.
Oh.
So it creates this like really thick paste that you then drizzle all over the popcorn.
Ooh.
And if you're like me, you add more sprinkles.
Yeah. What do you drizzle it with? Like with piping bag or just drizzle?
Absolutely not. With a spoon.
Oh, okay.
No one has time for that.
Make it easy.
No one has time for that.
I'm with it.
If you're trying to be fancy, then use a piping bag. But as someone who's been doing this for 10 years in the kitchen with kids, I don't have time. So we just use a spoon. Everybody gets their spoon and we just go to town. Mm-mm. And then one of the things is, depending on how much chocolate you have and like how big you want your clusters to be, if you need to break it up before it sets, break it up.
Okay.
But think like Bunch of Crunch. If you want it to be like thick crunches, then you leave it.
Okay.
Cool. So once you do it, you add your extra sprinkles on top. Do that while your chocolate is still wet. If you wait, your sprinkles are just going to fall off.
Okay. Got it.
Does that make sense?
Does this have chocolate in it already?
It does have chocolate in it already.
I'm ready for it.
Okay, so we're going to show everybody what it looks like. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So if you're real extra like us, then you're going to get these real cute little things off Amazon. It's linked on the blog.
So cute.
But if not, then just leave it in a bowl and it's totally fine. And then they come out, we're making a mess in clusters. Oh. So you can't see it because it's white chocolate, but we've got clusters of chocolate and popcorn.
Yay. And then you can just add some more sprinkles on the top.
If you so choose, it got really cute. It got really cute.
Really cute. Oh, it got really cute. I mean, check out that color.
You could. So this is my question, right? Other than sprinkles, what else would you add as a topping?
Wait, I'm sorry. Good. Like some caramel, maybe?
You could do caramel. Oh, that would be fun. You could do caramel, but think like a little kid. What do little kids like?
So gummy bears.
They like gummy bears. They like chocolate. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't do like large M&Ms. Do mini. So if you drop mini M&Ms over into this.
Oh, the little baby M&Ms.
Then you have this whole cute little thing happening. Nerds would work. Skittles. Like, it really doesn't matter. Whatever, like, your kids really love, think about whatever your theme is. So if this is a birthday party, put in birthday party stuff, okay?
I got a cluster.
You got a cluster. It's a delicious cluster. It'll totally change your life. Now, if you're doing this for, like, birthday parties, you want to give it to a lot of kids, leave nuts out. because you don't ever know what that's going to be.
True.
Because this dries hard, not really hard, it dries stiff. So you can put this inside of cups like this. You can put them inside of plastic bags. You can put ribbon on them. This can be your parting gift for a party, or if you're doing family movie night, cute way to set this up. Lots of different ways that you can show off your celebration popcorn.
Tell the people where they can find you and find this recipe so they can make this delicious popcorn, because the sweet and salty is hitting right now.
The sweet and salty is super delicious. You can find me at coachchefkim.com. This recipe is already live, so just type in celebration popcorn.
Celebration popcorn. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time with Help a Mother Out in the Kitchen. And now it's time for the Help a Mother Out craft segment. We are creating crafts to keep your kids screen-free and give you some quality time activities to do. Now, these crafts are fun for both kids and adults, so I warn you, you might be doing this with your girlfriends later on, okay? Today, we're going to do something called salt art. And with salt art, you got that right, we're using salt, okay? The materials you need for salt art are some school glue, you don't need the glue sticks, you actually need the liquid glue. You need watercolor, and you need some salt and a piece of paper, okay? Don't forget your water cup for your watercolor. I'm actually using this really cool holder so that if my kids are painting with their cup, they can't knock it over because it's planted here. And if you had regular paints, you could actually put paint inside of these little segments. But because we're using watercolor paint, they already have their own container. So let's get started. All right, so what we're going to create today is a really simple, large-scale picture. You could do something like a heart, and I'm going to actually do a smiley face, okay? So that's unisex. You can do a smiley face for boys or for girls. And here we are. Going to get that glue shaken down, and you're going to create a pretty thick line of glue to make your circle around, and I'm just kind of following what's left. Then I'm going to create some eyes here, and create another eye here, and then I'm going to do a smiley face all the way across here. And it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, then the fun part, you're going to add salt. Now, I have some salt in a bowl, and you're literally going to shake the salt on very generously, just like you would do some glitter, all right? So I'm going to shake some salt on top of the glue, and the kids get a kick out of this. They love this part. And make sure you lay down a tablecloth if you are really crazy about mess at home. Just lay out a tablecloth, it's fine. I usually keep like a little shower curtain or a vinyl tablecloth for all crafts that we do, so that it's always available. All right, and then after you get it generously filled with salt, you're gonna just kind of shake it around, and then you're gonna pour right back into your bowl all the excess, okay? I'm gonna go from the top, and I'm gonna go from the bottom, and you'll have some loose salt. Don't worry about that. All right, now the fun part. You're going to add some color to your picture. So I'm going to do like a rainbow tie-dye all the way around my smiley face. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to get a lot of water, and then I'm going to dip in, what's the first thing in rainbow? Roy G. Biv, R. So I'm going to get some red, get it nice and wet, and then I'm just literally going to tap it. And you'll see the color just kind of like spread. Actually got orange. Shame on me. It looked like red, but it was orange. So I'll go back and get this other one that looks like red, and I'm sure that's red. Let's see. Yeah, that's the red one. And it's so fun just to watch the color spread, and I'm just dabbing it. So I'm gonna get it wet again. So I've got my red, I've got my orange. Next is yellow. Get it wet. And there's the yellow. And then you're going to go, green? And just keep going around with all of the rainbow colors. Oh my God, it's so satisfying to watch it soak through. And when I tell you, the kids love it. So this is something you can keep your kids busy for a good solid 30-minute block, because they can make multiple pictures. And either y'all can do it as an activity together, You can start together and say, okay, now I'm going to leave you to create something special for me. And then they can have some quiet alone time and do it some more. And you can keep them off those screens for a little while, which is always a nice little treat. All right, and now I'm going to show you what it looks like when it finishes. After you finish going all the way around, you're going to sit it out, let it dry. And it kind of gives a tie-dye effect once it dries because it splatters onto the bottom of the paper. And there is your finished result. So you can do this with any picture. And voila, there you have it. I've helped a mother out. You got a craft to go. All right, so in our things to do segment with your kids as a mother, you have a 21-year-old, right? And so we've seen so many mothers of younger children here, and they've given us activities and things to do. But what do you do once you have a 21-year-old? You still got to spend quality time with her.
Right.
Can you give us about 3 different things that are activities that you like to do with your daughter?
Sure. So my daughter's 21 and she's actually on a spiritual journey. So she's opened up my eyes to a lot of things that I realized I was suppressing. So when you say things to do, I flow with her. She loves going to Stone Mountain. She loves going outside and really tapping into the natural space. And that has literally helped me because as a mompreneur, we're inside on laptops a lot. So definitely tapping into the outdoors for number 1. For number 2, I would say making sure that we get in the kitchen together. You know, with the Uber Eats and DoorDash era and the hustle and bustle, sometimes that home cooked meal is not home cooking. So I get in the kitchen with her and she's vegan. So again, she's opening me up to a lot of new things. And I found that vegan and vegetarian is delicious and you just have to be creative with it. Number 3 would be we make sure that we get up and move more. So instead of thinking about, okay, got to go to the gym, we literally take morning walks outside our neighborhood. When we go out of town, we're not just looking for restaurants or fun things. We're looking for outside things, like I said initially, but we're also looking for things that's going to help us to move. So we're going to try out Pilates, and we've been doing yoga.
Oh, fun. Okay, so I have to ask this just because I still want to do this with my daughter.
Sure.
Have you taken a mommy and me like vacation?
Yes, we do that a lot, but there's one cool one that I love. It was called a self-care stay, and it's like a literally small little cabin and it's almost like a box car, very minimal, out in nowhere, and they have them all over the world. We did one of those, and I gotta be honest, we booked it for 2 days. We only stayed for 1. So I lost a little money, but it was fine because we weren't used to it and we was ready to go home. However, we still did a day. So I want to challenge someone to actually do 2 to 3 days. It's hard, especially when you're going from everything that you have at home to very, very minimal. But we do those a lot, and that's the one I remember the most. And so my goal is to go back and stay the whole full 2 days.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Well, thank you again for sharing your activities that you do with your 21-year-old, because at some point my child will be 21.
It comes really fast.
It does. Like, she's 10 right now. She'll be 11 in December. And I'm like, what is happening? And my son is 6. Oh, my God. I can't deal. All right. Thank you again for coming. And we'll see you guys next time on Wish a Mother Would.